So I've just been having a look at why the oil pump is pumping every 10 drips as opposed to, you know, some I see online are pumping every 1 or 2 pumps. Now what I noticed was this piston here, this delivery piston, was a hell of a lot shorter than the 480 that it specifies, and I'm guessing that was my mistake. So what I've done is I've made it longer, which I'll show you in a minute, and so just so you can see the difference, just the length of that piston makes. Just got this set up on test now just so it drips back in the box, only pumping on the first stage piston. So that's the difference now. Every 2 strokes that's pumping a drip, whereas before it was about every 10. Absolutely fantastic now, that. Really chuffed. Now there on the right is the old first stage piston, and obviously this one's the new one. You can see the difference in length, and that was just that little bit extra length has made all the difference to that. Okay, seeing as we're on the oil pump, I thought I'd give a quick explanation of how I can see that it works. Now here we have the first stage piston, and here we have the second stage piston and cylinder. As the first stage piston is brought up by the eccentric this way, oil gets sucked up this little tube via a vacuum. Now the piston ram actually stops 10 thou just above the top of that. That's by the maths, and then obviously it returns back down on its downward stroke. As the piston is coming down, this tube is 1 mm in diameter, so for the first millimetre the oil will be returning back down this tube. However, once the piston clears the bottom of that, the oil gets hydraulically locked in here and has nowhere to go other than down. This obviously pushes the piston valve down, which uncovers this little hole here, which is linked to the pipe you can see on the side of the valve block, and goes up there. The oil then, as you can see, drips into the little cup on top of the 332 pipe, drips down into this channel, and then enters into the second stage piston and cylinder, which does the exact same thing again. The piston moves down and oil passes along here through the non-return valve and out into the engine. These little ways that you can see here are just oil reliefs, because obviously as the engine works over time, small amounts of oil will get trapped in these areas, and you don't want hydraulic locks happening, so they're to just relieve the hydraulic locks. If anyone's got any questions, please ask, and if anyone can explain why this engine uses a 2-stage pump, please explain it to me. The only thing I can assume is that it's so that you can see how much oil is being dripped into the little cup each time, and as we've seen, you can regulate the oil flow via the height of the piston, so maybe that's why. But I've seen plenty of single stage pistons out there working perfectly fine, so if anyone's really clear on the matter of why it's a 2-stage pump, yeah, let me know. Okay, I'm going to make the pull for the other side of the ratchet. Now to do this, I'm going to obviously use silver steel and harden and temper it. What I've thought is, if I have a milling cutter offset like this, and like scoop out that, it will give me a nice sharp point just there for me to use as the actual tip of the pull, and then I can center drill somewhere up here, and then once I've made the pull, I can make the holding mechanism that goes across to it. So it's going to be a bit of trial and error, this. I can't follow the drawings because I've made the box bigger to hold more oil, so it's kind of irrelevant. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So right now I've just lined the milling cutter up, a 1/2 inch milling cutter, just by eye on the centre line, and I'm going in and leaving 5/32s of meat on this side so that I can just drill the hole where the pin's going to go. I've got to go down 175 because that's the thickness of the pull. And I'm just taking 10 slough cuts at the minute because I'm not in any rush. Now I'll show you how it turns out. So the next bit is just to cut the slot where the spring will sit, and just use a 3mm cutter.